I want to tell you about my neighbor, Margaret. Margaret is 71 years old. She worked for 38 years as a school librarian in Ohio. She did everything right. She paid into the system her entire career. She retired at 67, just like she was supposed to. And every month, a check shows up in her account. She budgets around it. Her groceries, her medication, her heating bill in winter. 3 months ago, Margaret called me. She said, "I heard something on the radio today, and I need someone to explain it to me. Because if what they said is true, I don't know how I'm going to manage." I'm going to tell you exactly what Margaret heard on that radio. And I promise you, whether you are already collecting or you are 5 years away, or you are planning for retirement right now, what I am about to share with you matters a lot. But first, I need you to stay with me for just a moment, because most people hear this information and immediately tune out. They think that is a problem for someone else, or the government will fix it. And I need you to understand why thinking that way could cost you everything. Here's a question I want you to answer honestly. How much of your monthly income comes from one single source? For the average American retiree in this country, the answer is more than 50%. More than half of everything they live on comes from a single program. One program that right now, as you watch this video, is in serious financial trouble. There is a report, government released just a few months ago, in February of 2026. It is a dry, technical document. Most people will never read it. Most news stations covered it for about 45 seconds and moved on. But buried inside that report is a projection, a date, a number. And that number should be on the front page of every newspaper in America. It should be the first thing every person over the age of 50 hears when they wake up in the morning. The program I am talking about is Social Security. And the date in that report is 2032. That is 6 years from today. 6 years. And if nothing changes before that date, what happens to people like Margaret and people like you will not be pretty. Now, I am not here to scare you. I am here to make sure you are prepared. Because the people who understand what is coming have time to protect themselves. And that is exactly what we are going to do today.
Let me explain how Social Security actually works, because I find that most people do not fully understand it. And that misunderstanding is part of why this crisis catches people off guard. Every paycheck you have ever received in your working life had a deduction on it, 6.2%. That money did not go into a personal account with your name on it. It went into a shared fund called the Social Security Trust Fund, and it was used to pay the people who were already retired. The promise was simple. When it is your turn, the next generation of workers will pay for you. That system worked beautifully for decades. Back in 1960, there were more than 5 workers paying into Social Security for every one retiree collecting benefits. The math worked easily. The fund had surpluses. Everything was fine. But here is what changed. Americans started living longer. Birth rates dropped. The massive generation of baby boomers, 73 million people, started retiring. And today, there are fewer than 3 workers for every one retiree. By 2040, that number drops to less than 2.5. Think about what that means. The same amount of money going out, actually more because there are more retirees than ever before, but fewer and fewer workers putting money in. Since 2021, the trust fund has been spending more than it earns every single year, and the gap gets wider every year. The Congressional Budget Office, the nonpartisan financial watchdogs for the United States government, released their updated numbers in February 2026. Their conclusion was stark. The Social Security Retirement Trust Fund will be depleted in 2032. That is 1 full year earlier than they predicted just 12 months ago. And here is the part that almost nobody is talking about. Recent legislation, tax cuts signed in 2025, actually removed $170 billion in revenue from the trust fund over the next 10 years, making the problem significantly worse. The deadline that was already urgent just got moved up even further.
Now let me answer the question you are probably already asking. What actually happens when the trust fund runs out? Does Social Security just disappear? No. And I want to be very clear about this because there is a lot of misinformation out there. Social Security does not disappear. The program does not shut down. You will still receive a check. But, and this is a very significant but, once the trust fund is empty, the law says the program can only pay out what it is collecting in real time from current payroll taxes. It cannot borrow. It cannot use reserves, because there will be no reserves left. It can only spend what is coming in. What does that mean in dollars? According to the Congressional Budget Office, once the fund is depleted, benefits would need to be cut by approximately 28%, automatically, without a congressional vote. Just cut. Let me make that real for you. If you are currently receiving $2,000 per month from Social Security, which is close to the national average. A 28% cut means you would receive $1,440. You would lose $560 every single month. That is $6,720 per year from a fixed income at a time in your life when you have no ability to just go get a second job and make it up. For a married couple who are both receiving benefits, researchers estimate the combined annual loss could reach as high as $18,400 per year. Almost $19,000 a year vanished. Think back to Margaret. She is receiving about $1,900 a month. After a 28% cut, that becomes $1,368. Her rent alone is $900. That leaves her $468 for food, medication, utilities, and everything else in her life. And the people hurt most severely are not the wealthy retirees with pension plans and investment portfolios. The people hurt most severely are the ones who did everything right, worked their whole lives, and are counting on Social Security because it is most of what they have.
So the obvious question is, what is Congress doing about this? And I am going to give you a straight, honest answer. Not a political answer, just the facts. The short answer is not enough. Not nearly enough. And that is not a partisan statement. Both parties have had decades to address this. Neither has done what is necessary. Here is the political reality. There are really only three ways to fix Social Security's finances. You can reduce benefits. You can raise the payroll tax that workers pay. Or you can raise the age at which people can collect. Every single one of those options is politically painful. Every single one costs somebody something. And so, year after year, it can get kicked further down the road. Here is what gives me cautious optimism. Congress has fixed Social Security before. In 1983, the fund was months away from insolvency, and Congress acted. They made hard choices, a combination of tax increases and benefit adjustments, and they saved the program for another 50 years. Most economists believe Congress will act again before 2032. Because an automatic 28% benefit cut hitting 70 million voters right before a presidential election is politically unthinkable for any politician who wants to keep their job. But here is what you need to understand. The longer they wait, the fewer options they have, and the more painful the solution becomes. And there is no guarantee of when they will act, or what form it will take, which means you cannot afford to wait and hope. You need to have a plan. Okay, I promised Margaret, and I am promising you, that we are not just going to talk about the problem. We are going to talk about what you can actually do, right now, this week, before any of this ever happens. So here are some steps you can follow. Step 1. Go to ssa.gov and create your free My Social Security account. It takes about 10 minutes. Once you are in, you can see your full earnings record, your projected benefit at age 62, at your full retirement age, and at age 70. That number, your projected benefit, is your foundation. You cannot plan without knowing it. Step 2. If you have not yet claimed Social Security and you have the financial flexibility to wait, seriously consider delaying. For every year you wait past your full retirement age, your benefit increases by 8%. That is a guaranteed 8% return. If you claim at 70 instead of 62, your monthly check can be up to 77% higher. In a world where that check might get cut by 28%, starting from a higher base gives you a significant buffer. Step 3. Diversify your income so Social Security is a supplement, not a lifeline. I know that is easier said than done, but even small steps matter. Increasing your 401k contribution by just 1%, opening a Roth IRA, looking into annuities that provide guaranteed income for life, regardless of what Congress does. Every dollar of income you build outside of Social Security is $1 of protection. Step 4. Understand your Medicare costs, because they come directly out of your Social Security check. In 2026, Medicare Part B premiums jumped nearly 10%, from $185 to $202.90 per month. That means your net Social Security payment is already lower than the headline number you see. Step 5, and this one surprises people. Call your representatives, your senator, your congressperson. I know it can feel pointless, but Social Security reform only moves when politicians feel genuine pressure from constituents. You are a voter. Your voice matters. And the more Americans who make this a priority, the faster Congress is forced to act. Thank you for watching. Share this video with someone who needs it. Do subscribe to the channel, because in the next video, I'm going to tell you Medicare raised and how much is it secretly costing you. I'm Ethan, and this is the Pension Report. Stay protected, and I will see you in the next one.